Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I'm Michael Carvelli, joined by John Terry. And at this point, we never know. This could be the final time as a non-father, Nick Arthur.
Could even be a father by the time this episode comes out. Who knows?
It's weird that that's true.
So today,
Probably not.
Today I was sitting.
Please actually get your microphone to work this time.
Sorry, sorry. Hold on. Yeah, okay. My microphone's working. We're good. Today I was sitting here thinking about when we recorded this, how crazy it would be if, like, during the middle of the episode, Nick just got up and left. Like, you hear shouting, and literally Nick just leaves. He's like, "I gotta go, guys," and he leaves. And I mean, I don't know.
I don't think it just happened.
That would have been amazing. Holy cow. But how crazy would that have been, right? Like,
It'd be very cool.
ah, shit, he's still there. Didn't happen.
I think he was just doing a bit.
Yeah, it was the thing I was doing.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't get it.
I was playing along.
But no, very exciting, man. I'm just nervous for you. Nervous.
Exciting times. Nothing to be nervous about.
It's like a good nervous, like it's not like a nervous, like something bad's gonna happen. It's like a nervous, like, holy shit, dude, you're gonna be a fucking dad.
Yeah.
I've had 9 months for that realization to set in. So we've got we're good. We're settled.
You know, the other thing I'm really curious about is, you know, you hear all these, like, people when they have their kids are like, oh, like, you never like love someone like your kid, or like there's just something different about when you're responsible for a human. But like, none of my friends have ever, like, close friends have ever really had a kid. So like, I kind of just take all that shit as like a grain of salt. Like, okay, that's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to post a cute picture of the kid and being like, I've never been in love this much before, blah, 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 blah. But until, like, one of my good friends actually has those reactions, I feel like I'm not going to trust it.
I feel like
Pressure's on, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
you better love that kid as soon as.
I've not experienced that moment, but I can already tell you that it's going to be true. Like, it's just one of those things you just know. And I mean, I think that we talked about it after I'm sure after both of our weddings on the podcast. Just got kind of that feeling after the wedding of, like, even though, like, I mean, for me, I was engaged for almost 2 years. You know, we had been together for 5+ years. You know, the marriage was just like a formality. It didn't really change anything. But like, it did. You know, like, you wake up the next morning and it's just like, it just feels different. It just feels like I'm now, like, responsible for this person.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that I think is going to just be on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Come when this comes. Yes.
I have one more question. So obviously, like, you're probably looking forward to a lot of things as a father, but is there, like, one thing you're, like, super pumped about? Maybe it's not going to happen, like, within the first year, but, like, is it, like, teaching the kid how to shoot a basketball? Is it, like, boys' night? Like, you're sitting there playing Call of Duty and you got young Narth sitting there, like, cheering you on, eating popcorn.
Land party, baby. Land party.
I'm just curious, like, what do you have? Are there any of those moments that, like, you're super excited about? That you are living out your life right now, and you go down and you sit on the couch to watch a baseball game and you're like, ah, shit, this is going to be really cool to, like, be able to watch this game with my kid.
Yeah. I mean, you really put me on the spot, admittedly. There's, like, nothing, like, specifically that I've thought about, but, like, yeah, definitely just, like, the general idea of, you know, after they're walking and they're able to, you know, just playing with your kid in general, whether that's, like, you know, when they're first, like, picking up something and throwing it, or, you know, that obviously evolves into throwing a baseball and evolves into more, sure. But just the general, like, concept of just, like, playing with your kid. I think that's the part I'm looking forward to the most.
You know, what's also interesting is, like, you know, we've all played with, like, children before, right? And, like, it's fun to play with kids for a little bit, but, like, there comes a point where it's like, okay, like, I'm done playing with, like, my little cousin or, like, friend's kid.
This could go in, like, a very bad direction. What John's leading up to.
Just hear me out. Like, I'm just, like, a little bored by it, you know? Like, there are better things that, like, I could be doing right now. Like, I could be drinking a beer with my real friends, or I could be, like,
not this fake friend here, but
instead,
like,
I'm like throwing a ball with, like, a 2-year-old who's, like, super excited.
This lame thing I helped create.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying your kid, but I'm so interested because I feel like when it's your own kid, like, it will never get old throwing a ball to your kid, or, like,
I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be like, all right, man, Chill for a little bit. There's nothing
Chill
wrong
out,
with that.
just go.
Chill for a little bit. All right.
Go sit down.
We
Yeah.
gotta eat. Chill. We're chilling for a second. So yeah, I mean that to an extent, but yeah, I think in general you're obviously going to like your kid a lot more than like that stupid snot-nosed brat next door.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. I have one more random question that I know you know because you've been studying how to be like a.
You want to know about meconium, don't you?
No, but I do in a minute. When do kids start eating real food? Like what age?
6 to 8 months they start
Okay, just
switching to
curious.
solids,
Got
but
it. I was
yeah,
just
pretty much
curious.
first 6 months are purely breastfeeding.
But then
formula.
after that, it's like the baby food. When do they eat? Like when can you give them like some cut up chicken or something?
That I'm not too
We
informed on
haven't
the
studied
exact
on the
time, but
toddler
obviously
phase.
that's going to be when their teeth, of course, start
That's a good point.
coming in. But
Eat them
yeah, I
chompers.
mean you can slowly transition them to solids and get creative with sweet
Like
potatoes
banana.
and other
Yeah,
types
yeah.
soft foods. But yeah, I think ultimately it depends on when their dentition forms.
I have one more question,
Mhm.
and this is my last question. Will you? So when I was growing up, I did not have a sip of alcohol until after I was 21. Like
Holy shit,
Yes.
not gonna happen.
kid's not even born yet.
Hold on, chill out. So my question, like even on like New Year's, like parents didn't even let me like sip the champagne.
Okay.
So as a responsible adult and a father of a child, are you going to allow your child to taste alcohol before they turn 21? Like, are you going to aid in that?
Not planning to.
Okay,
The
I was curious.
The correct answer is Untitled Arthur Child will get his first sip of alcohol snuck to him by me in March 2035. Or no, 2030.
Age
It'd be like
14?
2037.
Jesus.
2037.
Okay, that's a little
16.
more
Sorry,
acceptable.
my math was poor. I apologize.
Yeah, we're not
37.
slipping beers to a 14-year-old, guys.
37.
Okay?
So about
Not happening.
16, 17 comes to March. Nick looks away for a minute, goes to use the restroom, goes to cook some food real quick. Here you go. Let's have one.
I wouldn't accept that. I wouldn't allow it.
You'll never know.
I'll find out. What do you mean I'll never know? You just admitted to it 17 years in advance. I'm going to be on the lookout for it, clearly.
It'll be a joke.
In 17 years in March, we're going to play this podcast during thing. And as this is coming up, Carvelli is just going to
You're
hand
telling
me
me in 2037, we're in San Antonio for March. West Virginia wins on a buzzer beater.
Nick,
You're not throwing the kid a beer and saying, let's.
I mean, we'll pop open the sparkling cider, and I'll even let you shake it up and spray it everywhere.
I appreciate you
don't care.
having to say that. I appreciate you having to say that for the record.
Yeah, me too.
We'll be cool about it though.
Okay.
But now, John, I have a question for you, and we're gonna kind of make Nick sit here. I don't want to make him make this prediction, but we kind of discussed this before. Due date is May 31st. John, Terry, you and I have off air. We are trying to determine what the name is going to be.
Yes.
I would also
That's an impossible task.
It is.
Wait till I get it though. Wait until I get it. I can feel it.
I hope you're wrong. Let's guess the birth date.
Oh.
Right now on the spot.
Yeah, John.
Do I get in on this also?
If you want, I wasn't gonna make you guess.
I mean, I biasly can like force them to induce, not.
That's a great question. I think
I'm pulling up a calendar so I can see days of the week because that's important.
early morning, May 29th.
Okay.
How early morning we talk? We talk like 2 a.m. or like
I'm envisioning, like you guys go to the hospital on Friday night.
Okay.
And early morning at some point, like before like 7 a.m. Like you're up all night waiting for this kid to pop out.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a day earlier.
Well, I need to make sure that you guys have all the information in front of you here. There is
31st. It'd be 3 days early.
right. But there's a doctor's appointment on the 20th,
Okay.
and there's another one on the 28th, which is that Friday. So John's bet could very much be likely. You go to that next doctor's appointment, take a look at this. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
This thing looks ready. It's possible. It's possible. I think more often than not, that early in the process, they don't induce. They do let things happen naturally, at least until like the 41st week, which would be a week after the due date. So I couldn't imagine them inducing there. It's going to have to happen naturally.
You know what? I'm going to go a little riskier, actually. I'm going to go the following Friday, June 4th.
June 4th. I got to start a new Invisalign tray that day.
A couple big things happening that day.
Yeah. So I think Francis's prediction was the 23rd.
I do feel like it probably will not be that long.
All
but
information
I'm going to go for it.
We're at the last doctor's appointment. The doctor's taking their look around at some things on the ultrasound. A comment was made about my size as a baby, which I then followed up by saying, yeah, but I was 10 days late, which led to the doctor giving me some sort of a look and saying something along the lines of, that could be the case here.
Ooh.
Okay, June 4th.
Francis says the 23rd.
Okay.
That is the last day of the Premier League season. She thought that Everton will be battling for a Champions League spot on that day. Not going to be the case, but could be battling for Europa. My original guess was the 27th, and that's been the guess.
I like that.
So we got the 23rd, the 27th, the 29th, and the 4th.
June 4th.
Michael,
So it won't be any of those 4 days. So there
Michael's
you go.
going the Price is Right method here, bidding $7.01 on the dollar amount here. Closest without going over? Is that how it works? No, that doesn't make sense with dates, does it?
I'll take. I mean, if that's going to give me the best chance to win, I'll take it. But yeah, it's so exciting, man. I can't wait. But yeah,
I'm excited. We'll hopefully have I think just to make sure everything's fully developed. Hopefully we'll have another episode or two, so we'll probably still have plenty of time to talk.
Keep that
talk
thing
baby.
cooking.
Could talk to John about Colossum and Meconium and everything else.
Yeah. What is
Wait, honestly, I thought that was like a name of a new cryptocurrency. I didn't realize that was a baby thing. I thought you were trying to transition us.
Transition, here we go. Perfect transition into our next topic.
Is that what it is? I have no idea.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Actually, baby terms that John will learn one day.
Yeah, there you go. But yes, let's go ahead and transition to the other stuff that we had to talk about as John kind of put us into it. Nick, you are going to teach us with your great expert opinions about everything to do with cryptocurrency today, because
John knows more than I do. And
I just know it's dumb, but I don't know that much.
You're in it now, and I know nothing about it. And I think I don't think it's dumb necessarily, but I just don't get it.
I think that we do a good job here on this show of trying to include current events and meme like topics. And the one thing we've not talked about has been cryptocurrency and just Dogecoin and everything
by design on my end.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about it either. I'll be completely honest with you. I've been attempting to educate myself over the last few days, in addition to very little information I researched over the last couple of years about it. But I decided it was finally time to dive in and try out some crypto. But yeah, I'm John's giving me these vibes. He's been researching this stuff.
I can see John as like a big crypto boy.
I own no crypto.
I'm not saying you don't own it, but I'm saying in a world where you do own it.
Yeah, he was like, what platform do you use? Do you use this one or this one or this one? Oh, you use that one. Oh, yeah, I know that one too.
Yeah.
How do you know all those things?
I've done some research, and people that other friends and family members know a lot about crypto and more about crypto than I do. I was first introduced way back in the day. I don't want to say his name, but a mutual friend of ours who was very knowledgeable about Bitcoin. and like mining Bitcoin and like understanding Bitcoin. This was like probably 4 years ago, right? When like crypto, like Bitcoin was the cryptocurrency. And I struggled to understand just like what it was. But the fact that there was this like current, it was kind of like to me, because there was like one of them that like it was like gold. It was like this commodity.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, because it's like this fake thing. Anyways, fast forward to 2021, and you can just make whatever cryptocurrency you want by making a cool name and saying it's the new thing. It just seems like I don't know. I think it seems like it's gotten out of control, and it's this make believe thing of like value that may or may not be a Ponzi scheme that isn't regulated. That's like it's not regulated, but the big thing is like it's super secure because it's on all these computers, and it's like computers talking to computers, which makes the cryptocurrency. But like, what is it? Like what I just don't get. I don't understand the point. It just seems like this make believe thing that like anyone can just come up with. Like, for example, on Saturday, Dogecoin, is it called Dogecoin? Because I've also heard someone call it Doja Coin. Again, no one even knows what to name these things. But Elon Musk makes a joke on Saturday Night Live. Basically, the joke was like, "Yeah, Dogecoin. Like, what even is Dogecoin?" And it lost like 30% of its value. Like, they were literally.
The joke he made was that it's they're like, so basically what you're saying about being a Ponzi scheme. They're like, so it's a hustle. He's like, yeah, pretty much. Was the joke that he made, and that is what just hit the value of 30%.
So I don't know. I'm confused by the whole thing. It just doesn't seem
Me too.
real.
Yeah.
I don't get like, it's like this NFT stuff, right? Like these digital, like little video highlights, but at least that stuff, you get something like that. You get like a digital baseball card or whatever. I don't understand those either, if I'm being honest. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just those NFTs, it's the idea of, and I'm an idiot about them as well. I'm going to sound dumb if I try to talk about any of this stuff. So forgive me in advance, but yeah, it's this concept of like, hey, I think that rock on the ground is $2. Hey, I'll pay you $4 for it, only because I know that somebody's going to pay me $6 for it, and then I know that person's going to pay them $8 for it. And it's just value is just propped up based just on the anticipation of somebody wanting to buy it eventually. And what is it? It's a rock. It's nothing. It's Rajon Rondo making a layup. It's a video of that. Why do I want that?
When you could also just watch the same video on YouTube. Right. Like,
but I want that because someone's going to pay me more for that than I paid for it.
I mean, and look, you can look at that from like a baseball card perspective. Like there's a picture of Rajon Rondo or a basketball card, and someone wants to buy a little card of him, but you could actually go look at that same picture like online. I think at some point this whole crypto thing, like the bottom's going to drop out. It's going to be like the .com bust, and there are going to be a lot of people who lose a lot of money. But here's the other thing. There are going to be people who make money too, because I guess my big thing about this is that no one actually, and this is me making a massive assumption, uneducated assumption, which I probably shouldn't be doing, but no one believes there's any value in this, like in any of these currencies. I think people believe that there is value to be made, which is different. People think that they can put money in this and then take it out when it's at this super high level and make a ton of money because the value is going to appreciate. But there's not value in the thing. There's value in being able to make a quick buck. And that's like,
I will say the thing about that I have found interesting with this, and I've been paying a little more attention to the Dogecoin just because like Sunday will be talking to us about it or whatever. And it is interesting to see, like, was it the Oakland A's that have started a thing where like you can buy tickets with it?
Yeah, there was
which is interesting. Like interesting that they're actually using that as like a currency for real transactions, which I wasn't sure if that was really a thing. I didn't know. Just because, like I said, I know nothing about it.
That's the end goal of all this. Now, I remember when like that Kansas City Chiefs tight end, I think like a year or two ago, was trying to negotiate his contract and asked that his salary be paid in Bitcoin.
I don't remember that.
So there's been these situations that have like presented themselves where you're trying to create this transition of, you know,
Yeah.
it being crypto to actually having some tangible usage. But
Yeah, because I guess that has always been my and once again, this I'm sure anybody, if anybody who is listening to this knows anything about it, please, like I would love to hear about it, because I just
yeah,
genuinely have no idea. I've never really paid a ton of attention to it.
yeah, we're
So
intentionally not diving into the details of it.
yeah, so like whenever I've heard about it, that has always been one of the things that I always wondered was like, I know ultimately people would like to get to a point where this is sort of a legitimate form of currency where I can go to, you know, the grocery store and pay for my groceries using it. But I've always wondered if there's a way you can do that now or not. I wasn't sure.
So here's the thing though, is like currency, what makes currency good is like, you hear about inflation. Like inflation is horrible for the like you don't want inflation because you don't want the value of things to change so drastically over time.
Yeah.
Right. There was an article and I just found it because I remember this happening. This kid bought a $30 Papa John's pizza in 2010 with Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin at the time was worth 0.003 cents. So he paid 10,000 Bitcoins to buy two large pizzas from Papa John's. That money today would be worth $570 million. Like that just doesn't seem sustainable to me. Like can you imagine living with that? You bought two large Papa
What would
John's
be
pizza
worse?
for
What would be worse?
$570 million.
What would be worse, being that guy who paid that much for a pizza, or being the person like we hear who like has millions and millions of dollars in his account but can't figure out his password?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Which is
At least the other guy got pizza out of it.
yeah.
Although this other guy probably can make some money off like, you know, a book deal or something. But
yeah, it's just it's such an interesting concept. You know, in my first few days of just what this is and taking a look at your account and the volatility, I mean, it's interesting. Like it just feels so similar to just stock market trading, where you're like, you know, you're buying a stock and you're holding and you're just evaluating the, you know, the rise and decline of its value and how that impacts your equity holdings. But what's interesting is, like, you know, with the stock market, obviously it's a 9 to 5 thing. There's an opening bell and a closing bell.
Yeah.
With this crypto, it's around the clock. So with that's kind of cool, right? Is that, you know, at any time, 2 a.m, you know, it's not just an after hours number, it's a real number, and you could just withdraw and buy in at any time. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
Yo, but so I think the difference, and I don't do like day trading or anything with the stock market. Like I do like mutual funds, and like I am very like passive.
Yeah, but you still understand the concept of
yeah, no, I do.
bell.
But I think the interesting thing about the stock market is the values go up and down based on things that happen, like based on like real world events. Like for example, like FedEx has a really good earnings, like a really good quarter, so their stock is going to go up,
and it makes sense.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
But the value of cryptocurrency, I mean, I guess when Elon Musk makes a joke, like that made sense. But there's seems to be no reason why Bitcoin's value was up to like $17,000 per Bitcoin in 2018, and now it's $57,000 to Bitcoin. As far as I know, the only thing that's happened is like more people have it. The other interesting thing that we haven't touched on is the ability to mine this stuff, so that like you can literally have these computer setups and I mean, I see it all the time on TikTok, the greatest app in the world, by the way. We need to talk about that at some point. But these people make like $20 a day by just running their computers. And then it's like $5 of their electric bill. Like that, is that fake? Like money doesn't grow on trees. Like that's not real, but it is growing on trees.
And it's wild too, how that has contributed to like the graphics card shortage and has just skyrocketed the price of video cards and stuff for PCs. But yeah, I mean, that, John, it becomes real estate, right? And again, I don't want to sound like an idiot. The basics of what I understand as far as mining it is somehow, and I don't know how, but somehow solving like these math problems or algorithm, you know, solving these math problems with your PC gains you coins of this currency. And the more advanced your PC is and the more math problems it can solve, the more coins you can mine. And again, I don't know why getting these coins is just a matter of solving a math problem. That's the part that like I don't get. And I apologize if I sound really dumb saying that, but it becomes like a real estate investment, right? Like it's the same concept as someone going out and buying, I'm going to buy 10 rental properties and I'm going to drop, I don't know, $1 million to buy these 10 rental properties. And I'm going to rent these babies out for $2,000 a month or whatever it is. And after 5 years, I'm set up and I'm really profitable. It's so similar with these PCs. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy a $5,000 PC with this crazy system in place. And over time, after a couple years, after I'm mining $50 a day and I've got 10 of them running at the same time, I'm going to become profitable. So it's like buying up Monopoly Park Place. It's the same idea, but man, it's interesting, huh?
Yeah, the difference though is that like the scary thing with cryptocurrency to real estate is one is more it's safer, right? Like there's years of data on it.
There's also a much lower ceiling. There's a less volatility.
No, that's true. That's true.
But higher risk, high reward. That's
you're probably going to get around like 2.5% to 3% of value a year in real estate versus this. Like you've seen the price of Bitcoin just in the last
today
5 years.
Doge went up 9% today. I mean, you're lucky to get that over the course of a year on the stock market with a mutual fund. I mean, that's the return over the course of a year.
But it's so much more volatile. It's crazy. The whole thing, it makes my head hurt. Honestly, it makes my head hurt. I don't want to be like missing out on this.
It's all legalized gambling, man.
But it's like I think of like Back to the Future, like the movie Back to the Future. Like, is that really where we're headed? But like you just pay. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to just store water. Water is going to be the real valuable thing. I just want to like create a water. My whole basement, I need to dig deep and just store water in my home.
Okay. That sounds great, John.
I do actually want to collect my rainwater coming from my gutters and filter it and use it to water my grass.
There you go. Look at that.
Environment, baby.
Nick, what did you buy in at?
Like what was Doge valued at?
Yeah, like what did you buy? Yeah, like how? Like what did you?
Well, again, I did this purely because I thought this was a category I needed to educate myself better on.
Yeah.
Much like I felt about the stock market about 18 months ago. Before, like I knew nothing about it, and now I still know nothing about it, but I know a little more than I did then. So yeah, I mainly thought, hey, this is worth a couple $100 or whatever I decide to throw at this, just to understand it better. That's all. I'm not really even looking to make money off of it. But yeah, I did. I just did $100 and put it into Dogecoin after it had dipped 30%. From Elon Musk's statements on SNL. And I think I got in at like 45 cents.
45 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I realized it was at like a tenth of a cent like a year ago.
Yeah.
So if it explodes to something where I make money, the world's going to collapse because there's so many people who got in at a cent.
And we're buying a bar.
Yeah. Oh, but if it
Thank
happens,
you for jumping the gun on what I was working my way to, John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And thank you, Nick, for completely ruining it by like, yeah, we're not going to make any money doing this. Sorry.
But no, here's the thing. What I'm going to say is you got it 45 cents. By the time it's up to like 50,
by the time it matches Bitcoin and it's $65,000 a coin. I know Bitcoin dipped to like 58, but yeah, give me I've got 300 holdings.
Well, here's the thing.
300 times 65,000.
And here's the thing with that. Because we're going to the point that we're getting to is we're going to use all of the money from this for us all to group together and buy a bar.
It's $19 million.
Okay, so when it matches Bitcoin, we're at 19 million.
And we'll have yours, plus we can get Sunday in on the venture.
He can give us a couple.
He bought in at 4 cents. So there we go.
Plus, Michael Terry might want to be an investor.
We're gonna buy a bar.
I'll just be the bartender because I'm not gonna have any of the Bitcoin money.
Well, I think
Oh, but by then you'll have
we will all very much be just like the hangers on. Like we've got some ideas that we want to do, but we need Nick and Matt and everybody else to fund it for us.
I don't want to ruin the topic real fast because we're transitioning, but
yeah.
On a final note here, if you guys are one of those people who, I don't know, you've got 10 Bitcoin,
Yeah.
right? And you got in super low, and you're currently holding $650,000. To John's point, like this could all just collapse at any point. You're out, right?
out.
You're out. Are you?
Yeah, I'm out like $30,000 ago.
Yeah, I would have been out like
at 620K instead of 650. You mean 30,000 Bitcoin value
yes,
ago, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I would have been out like a while ago.
Okay, but even with like the no end in sight thing, I mean, you can't help but.
Yeah, but like at the same time that it could have gone that way, it could have gone.
It's all monopoly money, man. And to your point, there's no like 9 to 5 on this. You don't have the Fed able just to shut down the stock market to stop a free fall. Like it's over. Like it's done. Capiche. Goodbye. Adios.
Our bar aspirations aside, if I had bought in on this Dogecoin, like when Sunday did, let's say at 4 cents, 5 cents, whatever it was, he got it at.
You've 10 times your earnings right now.
Yeah, you're 10 times right now, and then like let's say
you were 7 times before Saturday.
Let's say it ultimately gets to like, 25,000 per coin, and he's got a good bit. I mean, I can't remember exactly how many he has, but I think he had like. I think he did like $50 worth at 4 cents per. So I'm getting out if it gets to like 20,000. I'm like, I understand the risk of like, it could just keep going and then you're out of so much money, but like, that's okay.
You could be the idiot who spent, $570 million on Papa John's, or you could be the guy who saved the money and has it in your back pocket. It's crazy, man. It's wild. The whole thing, the ecosystem of crypto
it's a tough decision to make for sure if it gets to that point.
I mean, I'm at $1.12 profit right now. $1.12.
It was like 35 cents when we started the show. As we are talking about it. So while Elon Musk is out here tanking it, Phoning It In talks about it, and it just goes up.
$1.29. I mean, $1.31. It can't stop.
To the moon. To the moon. But yes, we're going to buy a bar with it. And this is something, I think we've joked about this several times.
And we are still joking about it, just to be clear.
Sort of. But maybe not. Yeah, we are. But maybe not. How cool would it be, though?
There was a thread today.
By the way, this is like the most stereotypical thing we've ever done. Just a group. Three late 20s, early 30s.
Everyone has had this conversation.
On
Everyone
their podcast, talking about buying a bar. We suck.
Yep. Seriously.
I apologize.
With our villa toboggan and sports hoodie. Yeah. We're such bros right now.
We suck. But it's fine because this would be a really cool thing to do, and I don't care what it
is. The Twitter thread that I can't remember which one of you sent it through. It was basically like how to be a regular at your neighborhood bar, which we've texted about a bazillion times. But man, I yearn to be a regular, to be like recognized at the bar. That would be so much fun.
You want the cheers moment. You want the norm moment.
Yeah, and the Twitter thread, it was perfect. It was basically talking about, it was this Canadian journalist. I believe he was Canadian. And he was
Chris Jones. He is based out of Toronto. Used to write for like Esquire, ESPN, the magazine, places like that. I think now he's like moved into like trying to get into writing TV and stuff. One of my favorite writers.
It was the perfect how-to of like 12 tweets about what to do. And then you had these bartenders, old bartenders, past bartenders who were commenting on it, be like, yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. But also here's another tip.
Yeah.
A bar would be fun. We had this bar in Seattle, and it was called the Park Pub. It was like this little neighborhood restaurant. It couldn't have been bigger than the newsroom at the DA was probably the size of the entire seating area, and like the middle was just like a bar, and it was like this laid back place, and like a semi small tap list, but like you could get good beers and they have good cocktails. Their food was decent, like they had some good specials. I just always wanted to be a regular there, but then we moved and it just wasn't close anymore. Like you move and it just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But man, but then on the flip side, man, how much fun would it be just to like be friends with everyone who came into your bar? Holy shit. We should try to interview a bar owner. You know, we
Can't-
talk about things to do once Nick is in fatherhood and he can't like
on-
he's trying to like keep a baby alive.
His impending paternity leave.
We should
Hey.
find a bar owner to talk to find out actually how miserable it is to own a bar. Because I'm sure it's not all glorious.
Yeah, especially like in a college town, it'd be the worst, I think. Can I admit though that, and I realize like I'm at the point in my life now where this isn't an option anymore. But like just like watching How I Met Your Mother, and currently in the middle of the deep rewatch here, and as much as it would be cool to own a bar, I think it would be cooler to live in downtown Manhattan above a bar. When you're in,
Also really
if
true.
you're like, you know, in your early to late 20s, just anywhere in that 10-year period.
Yeah.
Like that would have been just as cool, actually cooler than owning a bar. I mean, how cool was that? To just go downstairs.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Would be a really cool. It would be like an ideal place to live at that time.
And really just any like major city above a bar. I mean, give me Chicago, give me anywhere. You know, if I live above a bar like that, McLaren's or whatever it's called.
You're saying we've talked in past episodes about me preparing to move from here to probably closer to Morgantown. Should I look for apartments on High Street above
No,
bars?
but for one of our March trips, we should find an Airbnb above a bar.
Yes. Then there are some really, I think the finalist for
Indianapolis.
Was it
above
Indy
a
or
bar.
Louisville?
Indy.
It was one of the two.
I think Indy was above a bar.
We will be a regular before we leave at the end of the week. You know we will. You know we will, because we'll tell that story. We'll be legends there.
Absolutely.
That's
Staying
actually
upstairs. You know,
that's a great shout. Like that actually makes me want to do that. That would be fun. That would be just a fun
like
experience.
the one time
Pitch ready.
we've talked about, you know, the Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and all the random secluded trips. The one year we do the New York City or the big city trip, we even in Indy, you know, we do a downtown setting.
Yeah,
We get a place above a bar.
I love that. Get your pitch ready. We'll have it. That'll be.
God,
Yeah.
Of course, we couldn't. Yeah, and we have a window. We can't do that when we're bringing a 14-year-old young Narth because Nick's not allowing them to drink. So we couldn't.
You're gonna give
Michael and Wendy, the waitress, are sneaking drinks to him.
I mean, come on.
Have you guys
An
ever
adult,
tried,
for Christ's sakes.
have you guys ever tried to be regulars at bars? Be honest. We've all failed at it if we've tried, because as far as I know, none of us are regulars at bars. Cody might be.
I did try when I moved to LA for the first time. I had a bar right down the street. I didn't know anybody, and I would go down there to watch different games, and I became a somewhat regular.
Yeah.
And the reason I got a few free drinks too, but you want to know how? I didn't need to follow this guy's full thing that he did. I decided that the first time I would go to this bar was when WVU played Kansas, right after I'd moved to town. And it was at Allen Fieldhouse, and it was the one game WVU was up like 14 with 60 seconds left. Or I know that's an exaggeration.
Oh,
it
God.
basically was, right?
It was a
And-
pig free drink.
And the bartender looks at me because, you know, we had kind of been talking throughout the game. You know, I'm rooting for this one. My wife's, you know, she's a fan of the other one. I can't watch at home. You know, you kind of, you had that bonding.
Pity story.
situation.
Yeah.
And then, like, when there was like a minute and a half left and we're up 15, the guy looks at me and says, "Man, it's a good win for you guys." And I look him back and I say, "You have no idea like how much time is left in this game." I was legitimately so mad at this guy for saying that, because I knew what was coming, and then they blew it. Well, first of all, when they missed the shot to go overtime, he brought over a free drink. Like when Kansas forced OT, he brought over a free drink. Didn't say a word. He did not say a word. He just handed me the drink. He felt terrible. And then like after they lost, and I just like stormed out of that place. The next couple of times I went, like we had this bond formed, myself
Nice.
and this bartender.
Perfect. That's
So
exactly
that was
it.
Yeah, that's it. That's
You
like
were a
become-
regular.
you were a regular.
But sorry for the long story, but
I love it.
I've never heard that story. That's amazing.
Can I
Yeah,
tell
it
you something I also just realized? And it's about my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about you guys. There are many favorite things that I have about you and Francis, but one of them is the WVU Kansas thing where you guys cannot watch together. First major test of fatherhood. It comes about like 8 years down the road when that kid's getting interested in basketball or whatever, and he's got to pick which parent is he gonna stay home and watch with Francis, or does he go to the place with you to watch when you have to leave, when you've been
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because during the just ambush of gifts that have been coming in from family and friends, there has been a very one-sided representation.
Interesting.
From the gifts, meaning the outfits for the child, the shoes, the shirts. You're getting a lot of West Virginia stuff. You're getting a lot of Steelers stuff.
Let's go.
And none, like zero. You're getting a lot of Everton stuff. None.
Love to see
of her side of things. So she actually just recently, while watching the Royals game, they did an ad for like the newborn bundle, where you pay like $30 to be a part of the newborn club, and they send you a swaddle. A royal swaddle, royal shoes, royals. What else is in there? I can't even remember. Like a pacifier key, like holder, kind of like a keychain. All that. She ordered it because she needs representation on her side. So she's sensing exactly what you're worried about as far as the kid picking one side and leaning my side.
Yeah.
See, she doesn't know though, when you're up at weird hours, with this kid and you got reruns of the Pirates games on, like it's kind of over when it comes to baseball.
Well, we're gonna have a talk with them. We're gonna say, hey, listen, in life, you have two options. Okay, you can have everything handed to you and pick something real easy. You want to go be a fan of the Kansas Jayhawks and the Barcelonas and the Denver Broncos, go ahead, man. Go ahead. But if you want to be a true blue collar
If you want to be miserable constantly,
if you want to actually, there's going to be that one moment in your life, when the Pirates win the pennant, or the WVU cuts down the nets, and that moment will be something you've never experienced before, just pure emotion, right? Or you'd be like, oh yeah, Barcelona won Champions League again, that's cool. Okay, I mean that's not fun. Right? That's not fun. 17 straight conference titles. Woo! Which one was best, 13 or 7? I don't know. It's boring, right? Yeah. So those are the options in front of you. Okay. Now I'm not asking you to be a fan of. Now the Pirates are pretty bad, I'll admit, but like I'm not asking you to be like a random fan of like Wake Forest college football or something. Yeah. Like we at least have like a top 25 situation here. But yeah, I think those are.
That'll be another long-term private bet that John and I have is which side.
That was one of my like favorite 2-minute Nick rants I think ever. That was we do have it recorded, which is lovely. That was phenomenal. That Nick, you're going to make such a great dad. Holy shit. That right there convinced me.
Hey, when Everton win the title,
that
scenes. There's actually going to be value in that moment, right? When Barcelona wins La Liga. First of all, you can't even watch, dude. Not even on. I mean, even though the Liga just signed an ESPN contract actually for next season, I believe.
Oh, did they really? Wow.
Big news.
That's kind of surprising that ESPN. I guess they have Serie A and stuff like that.
It's going to be ESPN Plus, I guarantee it. Yeah. But
that makes sense. I mean,
yeah, you got to. You got to. All this suffering, Michael. It's going to be worth it one day.
I do think you have in your favor. I imagine that. You have an advantage going in. Like, I think so, just because, like, I feel like you're the dad, like, I don't know. I feel like you might have a slight advantage going in.
I don't think I do at all.
Really?
Because I cave more. It's not worth it. Like, it's not worth an argument. Like, just take it. It's cool. There's one person in this relationship that still has the same competitive drive that they've always had. And there's one person in this relationship that said, you know what? It's not worth it. We both can't have that still. And that one person who says it's not worth it is me. So I think I'm at a disadvantage, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to put together a presentation, and I hope he chooses correctly.
Smart. Just like slowly, yeah, like start from day one, just slowly chip away at it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, whenever don't you hate when teams like always win?
I hate that. It's just so not fun.
Awful. Yeah.
Who wants to enjoy watching sports when you can just watch with dread?
Yeah. Who wants to have winning devalued?
Yeah.
Honestly, what's going to happen is it's going to be like whoever's team is having a good year when the kid's like 5 or 6. Like that's going to be the determining factor. That's fair. I feel like. So you gotta let everyone know.
It might not even be that. It might be as simple as like the first year that they're like really interested, if it comes down to like a WVU Kansas game and like you have a buzzer beater.
Hmm.
Like
so it's going to be West Virginia.
maybe potentially.
I don't know. It's exciting.
I can't wait, man. It's gonna be great. But yeah, anything else you guys have before we wrap up? I know we had a couple other things on the list, but we can talk about it later.
Nah, we're Gucci here.
Wonderful.
Don't you hate when you get spam calls and they leave the voicemail and the voicemail literally says to opt out, press 2? It's like, this is a voicemail.
I've been getting so many of those damn things. Yesterday I had 8 during the regular business hours. 8 spam calls.
I think
I get 3 to 5 a day.
Really? I got 2 yesterday or the day before. What's today? Today's Tuesday. I got it yesterday. Got 2, I think.
It's absurd.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No.
I don't know. Just get me off the list.
I froze there for a second.
That's okay. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up then, just in case Nick is gone, which I think he might be.
Nope.
Oh,
Am I here?
he's returned. It's a sign to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for listening this week. Be sure to subscribe to the show on whatever app you use, wherever you watch us on YouTube or anything like that. Give us a 5-star rating and review. Nick, if you are still there, where can they find us on the socials?
As always, Phoning It In Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also send us an email, phoningitinpodcast@gmail.com, or give us a call, leave a voicemail. Please don't tell us to opt out by pressing 2 at 304-627-1889.
That's right. And as always, a shout out to Miguel Silva Leon for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Lemon on Spotify and Apple Music. And with that, that's all we have for this week. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next time.